Welcome guys, back to another episode of the Gruesome Garage, and this one is going to be a cool one. It's the start of our build series on our Cherokees, and we're going to be focusing mainly on my front suspension and stiffeners that I put in and forgot to film. Just the fronts though. We'll show you guys how to do the mids and the rears. And over here, my brother is going to show you how the heck he's gonna put some tube back on.
This is gonna come off. We're done with them. Too much work to put them back on right now, and I'd rather have some tube up there, so going in the garbage.
As you can see, my brother is welding up some autos in his frame from the shock hoops, because we won't be using those anymore. We got Mr. Heater going, and I got my cross member out, because guess what? We're doing mids. To me, they're the most important parts, because unlike most Cherokee guys, they love to put their long arm control arm mounts on the cross member, and I just think that's ridiculous. Who wants to take their whole front suspension out just to drop the cross member? So guess where we mount them? Right to the unibody. It's never given us a single issue before, and we will continue doing it until it does. So let's get at it. Let's clean this disgusting body, the unibody rail, and let's get to putting these beautiful things on. We got one side cleaned up and ready to go. Let's get the other side done.
Well, Jeff's over here burning on some frame stiffeners. We made a little modification to the nose of the Jeep here. We went to the junkyard this morning, got ourselves a header panel, had to do some haggling, but it's all part of it. With a little mismatch with the grill here, and what we've done is we took about 10.5 inches out of the center of the header panel, and we cut off 2 of these sections. So there was another section here, we cut that off this side, narrowed it a little bit, and glued it back on. So now we have our grill. We can figure out in the nose here where our pipe is gonna run, and make our fender line, crossbar running along the top of here, and then we'll be able to put some sort of a hood on here. So stay tuned as we continue this rhinoplasty. And Jeff gets frustrated welding as usual.
Well guys, what a surprise. I welded on yet another frame stiffener without recording. But I promise, the other side, it's not done yet. And I'm gonna show you this time how to do these. It's pretty simple, but it's not fun. So let's get at it. This right here is your best friend when doing frame stiffeners on the ground. You use this thing to push up, because see, you push up and you get this thing pinched right on the unibody rail, and you start tacking in. I like to start from here in the front and slowly move my way to the back with the jack, pushing up, tacking along, and then you burn them on. Now, let you guys know that this stuff is a lot thinner than this stuff. So what happens is you got to play a lot of games with the welder and don't just burn through it like a madman, because it's just going to blow holes in the ship. You don't want holes in your ship. This thing needs to float. Front all jacked up, pinched together, and I feel like this is very crucial. I always run the bolts through for the cross member just to make sure that, you know, you're not pinching the threads with the slots that they give you. And let's get to tacking. We got our first couple tacks on in the front and the back hiding over here. Now, let's move to the next pinch point. As you guys know, Cherokees don't have a straight unibody. It kind of kinks, so it gives you these reliefs. So we're gonna jack it up right here, tack this, make sure this is completely flat, and then we're gonna move over to the pinch point, push this up. Let's get at it. We got the jack all jacked up by the pinch point in the unibody stiffeners, and as you can see, it really lifts it up and pushes it right in place. So let's get this little section tacked on and we'll move to the back. And just like that, after it's all tacked up, our buddy over here goes bye-bye. Bye-bye, buddy. We don't need you anymore. Let's get to burning. Well. Burned on, burned in, and time to cool down so we can start measuring out where we're gonna put our lower control arm mounts. Really our only control arm mounts for the front, since if you guys see, this is a radius arm setup. I had it in my previous Jeep and it worked pretty well. That's why it's all bolted together. So we're gonna slap it in and see how she works, because I want to go wheeling. Oh guys, like I said, got the frame stiffeners in. Now the cross member is even in, but in typical Jeff fashion, I put the cross member in before I connected my exhaust back together, so you know, the cross member has to come down again. But for now, we're gonna tack these buggers on. Just want to explain real fast what we did under here, since the GoPro died in the middle of me explaining. Now we tack these on, and the way we do it is we measure it about a little farther away from the control arm. The reason mine are flipped backwards
From the cross member.
from the cross member, sorry. The reason why mine are flipped backwards is because the first time I did it, I had the control arms by the cross member, and they were drooped real low because I actually used a piece of 2x6 in my old Jeep for the cross member. And so to make up the difference, I just flipped it around. And we're tacking it on and seeing exactly where the axle is gonna fit up. The nice thing is, like I said, this was already in another Jeep, my Jeep before, so I kind of know where the control arm mounts had to be. So it made it a little easier. Burned on our lower control arm mount. Fixed my mistake. Dropped the cross member, put it back on. And cleaned up because it was filthy under this dump hole. Now my next idea is to lift it up on its own weight using the front axle and move these jack stands over a little bit to the back so we can work on the front and look at the front.
Chicken.
Now that the jack stands are behind the cross member, we can start doing the fun part, like bolting in the shocks and throwing in coils.
Show the shock tab.
If you see the shock tab up here, This is for, you know, typical Cherokees. They have the eye going up. Rusty supplied us with these nice little adapters so we could bolt it right up. This is a Rusty's RX 300 shock. I wanted to give it a try. I don't see many reviews or anything online about them, but Rusty's raves about them, saying that, you know, they're USA made and they're built well, and to be honest, they look good. So let's give them a shot. And these are the mystery coils. Can't wait to see what kind of mystery they have in store for us. Let's get this shock on, cuz.
Where that?
The mean shock's on here, cuz. Maybe not.
Yeah, you gotta stop moving. There we go. Started up there.
Well, guys, we're finally on 4 wheels again. No more hover jeeping. Super easy. We literally just threw the shocks and coils in. Got it on the wheels temporarily. We're still gonna have to screw around with it. The control arms are a little out of whack. The wheelbase needs to be shifted. But we're basically there, guys. So tune in next time and you'll get to see me explain everything about the front end and what we really did to it to get it in here years ago.
We'll show you how we get it lined up, straighten it out a bit, and get it as close as we can.
Hopefully we'll get to the back and we can have this thing a full 8-lug thug.